Hey guys, my name is Wildkard and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for subscribing and following my contents. I really do appreciate it. If you would like to support me financially, click the join button down below, and special thanks to the guys that are already supporting me. This my coffee are paid by you. I really do appreciate it. So Argentina, Australia, round 6 Rugby Championship 2021. There has been some sweeping changes across our Argentinian team and a lot of new bench members for the Australian team for coming up for this game. And yeah, so let's have a look. Why? Why, you might ask? Is Argentina just trying to give more caps to new players? Turns out some of the Argentinian players decided to take a little road trip down south to Byron Bay and got caught and are now in breach of the bubble and not allowed to play. So this is a little bit of unprofessionalism, should I say. And some of the players that are caught includes Pablo Martinez. Pablo cancel Martinez. Are we gonna see more racist tweets, or maybe some bullying tweets, or maybe some what do you call it? MySpace racist pictures come surfacing as a result of this? I don't know. Maybe he'll get cancelled for the second time. But some of these other players, like Santiago Medrano, is one of the props. So yeah, the video analyst, coach, and also even the manager were caught in this situation. I am very disappointed because there's, quite frankly, Byron Bay is a bit shitty, and like Queensland is a lot nicer than Byron Bay, to be honest. Byron Bay is quite overrated, and these guys couldn't help it but to go visit. And yeah, now that as a result of this, Argentina brought in sweeping changes across its team, whereas the Wallabies, I'm not sure if it's a response to this, decided to bring in the second oldest Wallaby player ever, Greg Holmes, at 38 years of age. He will be playing once again this weekend, coming off the bench at the tighthead position. To be fair, Greg Holmes has been active. He's been playing for the Western Force this year and hasn't been too bad for the Force. So it's great. It's good to have him. I have no doubt that he's going to be able to hold up to the standards of international rugby. It's just something of a meme, bringing back someone that's 38 years of age. But to be fair, he's quite in form, quite in shape. There is no issue with that. And this also means that he's going to get a bit of reunion with old mate Quaid and James O'Connor in the second half, the Reds players. Formerly, I think Quaid is the one that he probably would like to play with the most in the Wallabies again, as these guys have won Super Rugby in 2011, many years ago. And also we saw the return of Sean McMahon in the Wallabies team as well, who haven't played since 2016, and a former Nudgee College boy. So quite a few returns for the Wallabies team on the bench. So let's have a look at the full lineup. As a result of the bubble bridge, basically the reserve props from last week, Rodrigo Martinez and Enrique Pereto, comes up from the bench to the starting position. Julian Montoya is still the captain at number 2 position. The Wallabies front row unchanged from last week. James Slipper, Loosehead, Folau Faenga at number 2, and Tanela Tupou at the tight head position. This is going to be quite a difficult task for the Argentinians. The bench was struggling last week already, coming off the bench against the Wallabies bench props. So against Tanela Tupou, Greg Holmes calls him the best in the world. I don't see him quite there yet. Still got quite a bit of work to do, especially with that scrummaging. He could definitely improve those techniques a little bit, get a bit more consistency, whilst being very good already this season. So Tupou is probably going to do a bit of a number on Martinez, who has been struggling already in the last few weeks. In the lock position, Guido Petty comes up on the number 19 spot. Isaac Rodas retains his position at number 4. Thomas Lavanini stays at number 5. Darcy Swank gets caught off on the bench for the number 5 jersey. Darcy has been starting for the Wallabies against the French series, so to see Darcy starting again is quite a nice switch back to a few months ago. Juan Martin Gonzalez stays at number 6 position. P. Samuel earned his starting position, number 6. P. Samuel has been quite excellent coming off the bench as a finisher for the Wallabies. Very, very impressive against the Springboks especially. So earning this starting position, number 6, is very, very well deserving. Marcus Kremer at number 7. Hopefully he doesn't get a yellow card this week following his blowout last week. 2 professional fouls back-to-back, get himself sent off with a yellow card. Hopefully he's tidied that up a bit. He has a bit of reputation for that, and I think the coaches Ledesma will really have a bit of word with him, maybe do some anger management training. Michael Hooper, the Australian captain, at number 7. Rob Valentini retains his spot at number 8. Rodrigo Bruni comes in at number 8 position for Pablo cancelled Materes at the number 8 position for the Pumas. In the back line, Gonzalez Bertrano stays at number 9 position. He has solidified himself as the preferred number 9 after the injury with... what's his name? I can't remember his name. The Western Force... Anyway, so he's solidified in his spot at the number 9 position. Nick White, once again, gets the start at number 9 for the Wallabies. Santiago Carreras, his second test. Is this the second or third? Second test or third? I think this is the third test. Second test, third. Second starting, definitely third for him at the number 10 jersey for the Argentinians. Quay Cooper, once again, earned his number 10 spot. It's starting to see that Quaid is pretty much got that number 10 jersey locked down all of a sudden for the Wallabies, at least for the remainder of this year. For the Sprint Tour especially, it will be very good to see how Quaid performs against the Northerners. I thought maybe in games like this, we could potentially give Lolosio a go. But anyway, that is a different story. We'll make good content for YouTube at least. Emiliano Boffelli at number 11. He's the one that does all the kicking for the Argentinians, and his kicking has been a little bit off last week, but still not too bad nevertheless. Andrew Callaway gets moved to the blindside wing to the open side wing for the number 14 position. Probably one of the best performers for the Wallabies, as the number 11 from last week, Corin Benny, takes a break from this game. Santiago Chocobaras at number 12. Samuel Karevi at number 12 for the Wallabies. Starting to take the mantle as the best center, in the world at the moment. I don't think he's quite there to be considered the best yet, as the inside center position is quite competitive, and there's quite a few different play styles out there. Samuel Karevi as a hard running position is quite good at number 12. He says he wants to be like John Alomu. He's definitely getting there, but Lomu is quite the next level in the center position. Lomu is literally the best ever. So Samuel Karevi still got quite distance to go to catch up to Lomu, but he's definitely improving, which is good for us to see. Hopefully he doesn't get too complacent with some of the media blowing smoke up his backside. Lucio Cinti Luna retains his spot at number 13. Len Ikitau, again, very starting to grow in that number 13 jersey for the Wallabies, putting on some pretty solid performances. Matias Moroni comes in at number 14 position for the Pumas, whilst Jordan Patea moves up from the bench for the number 23 position, finally getting another start for the Wallabies after coming back from an injury. Juan Cruz Malia retains his number 15 jersey, whilst Reece Hodge stays at number 15 following Tom Banks' injury. The bench are sweeping changes for both teams. Some forced changes and some unforced changes for the Wallabies. Forced changes for the Pumas, unforced changes for the Wallabies. Facundo Bosch comes in at number 16. He has played against the Springboks, so he's a relatively I won't say experience. He's been campaigning a little bit this season, so his won't be an issue at number 16 position. Now, the number 17 and 18 position, 2 fresh props off the bench. Number 17 literally look like he's about 13 years old. He's about 17 years old, maybe. His number that's actually his age. So, yeah, 2 debutants coming off the bench. Really, really tough for the Argentinians as a result of the breaches. So, Thomas Gallows, number 17, and Adriano Bello at number 18. I'm pretty sure Bosch is the hooker. So, there's also an issue here that the props, one of the props is 176 centimeters and the other one's 191 centimeters. So, is a Bosch a prop? I'm pretty sure Bosch is hooker. But anyway, the height difference in this front row combination here is also going to be a little bit clunky to work with. So Greg Holmes, the oldest, second oldest, maybe the oldest Wallaby ever. What happened to here? What happened to my... comes back for the Wallabies for the number 18 jersey. He's in form. He's plays for the Western Force. I'll have no issue with him playing number 18 to cover up for Tanela Tupou. And, literally some of the youngest players, like ever, is going to play with one of the oldest players ever on the field. Angus Bell, again. Angus Bell, probably the best loose head in the world. He's done quite a big number against the Springboks, getting penalties. So these guys are really going to struggle on the weekend. And it's not going to look like this. This combination here is just experience and just raw talent from the form of Angus Bell as well. So this, the scrummaging is going to be pretty terrible, especially following last week where both teams were having a lot of handling errors, many attributed to the conditions in North Queensland, the humidity. So this week it's down in the Gold Coast. It's not going to be as humid, but if there's a lot of drop balls, the scrummaging could just be turned into quite a one-sided penalty fest for the Wallabies. Lockie Lonergan comes back in the hooker position on the bench once again. Lonergan has a little bit of issue with his throwing, so it's something that Lockie needs to work on for the time being. Matt Phillip takes a bit of break, coming off, drops back down to the bench for the number 5 spot. Matt Phillip has been improving quite a lot with his tackling and defense. I'm quite happy with his performance in recent times. He's up against Mattia Alano, who retains the number 90 position, one of the more experienced players for the Argentinians. And a new addition for the Argentinians, Francisco Garrison, at number 20, with only 1 test cap for the Argentinian team in the past. Sean McMahon returns to the Wallabies since 2016, and he's back for the Wallabies. A former Nudgy boy, Jake Gordon, also comes back in for Tate McDermott for a bit of break at number 21 position. Gonzalez Garcia stays at number 21 position for the reserve. Number 9 position for the Pumas. Domingo Miotti comes in at number 22. Once again, he has still not improved the coach. He has still not impressed the coaches enough to get a starting spot, even for a game like this. James O'Connor, Rabbit, stays at number 22 position. He came back last week for Quaid. I'm actually interested to see if they're gonna put him at fullback this week, because last week, whilst being pretty good with his kicking, I'm just wondering if they're going to try him in a different position. Tom Wright comes in at number 23 position. Finally, Tom Wright earns a run for the Wallabies. I thought Tom Wright would be selected over Callaway for sure at the beginning of the season, since Tom Wright had a really, really good Super Rugby season, but it looks like the Callaway selection had been quite spot on from Dave Rennie. And Tom Wright, I would say that compared to Callaway, Tom Wright definitely had to work a bit harder to get that starting jersey. So Tom Wright at number 23, probably going to come on for Patea. So O'Connor, I think he's going to come on for Quaid, isn't he? He's going to come on for Quaid. Reece Hodge at 15. I think that's probably going to be the play. James O'Connor for Quaid. But he could come on for Reece Hodge should there need to be an injury cover. But Mateo Carreras, after debuting last week, gets his second run at number 23 jersey for the Pumas. And that is the lineup, guys. So let me know what you think. Let me know your predictions. This is going to be really, really rough for the Pumas. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Torn Thor just dominate the front row, dominate the scrummaging, and just getting free penalties all day for the Wallabies. This should be quite an easy win for the Wallabies. We're looking forward for the Wallabies to do lots of rolling mauls, lots of scrummaging, and lots of scrum penalties. Turn that into lots of rolling maul tries with the predicament that Argentinians put themselves in. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, yada, yada, yada. I'll see you guys later for the reviews. Cheers.